kids are expensive, and I think it should be passed into law that if you don't have a certain amount in your account, you should not have children. Don't tell me about violating rights, because the parents who chose to bring a child, an innocent child, to the world, when they know that they do not have the money to take care of them, has already violated the right of that child. Anyways, there's this video I want you all to watch, and I've created stitches from it. There's this man who's saying that broke people, in fact, let me not spill the tea. Go watch that video and then drop your thoughts in the comments. After the stitch, we'll come back to talk about it.
I believe that if you are really poor, you should not be having kids.
This girl posted a TikTok how she had 4 kids under the age of 4 and she was living in a hotel. I be trying to feel sorry for people, but shit like that just pisses me off. And what really fried me was they all had different baby fathers. If you knew you was already in a bad situation, why are you bringing kids to be in that same bad situation with you? I saw somebody else have 5 kids under the age of 5 and they're living in a hotel, and then you're asking for GoFundMes. And I did try to look in the comments to see if they felt the same way. The first comment said, go get a job. Having kids in this economy is already expensive. But you went and you had 4, you had 5, and you're going back to sleep in a hotel, and now you're begging people for money. This is just taking me back to the fact that that one lady who moved out of her home, moved her 3 kids out of her home to go be a content creator full time and ended up homeless. And now you're on the news begging somebody for help. But the fact that you went to go chase a lifestyle and you put your child in an uncomfortable situation, you're an unfit mother. And me personally, I feel like anybody that has 5 kids under the age of 5, 4 kids under the age of 4, 3 under the age of 3, they need to get their kids taken away. Especially if you're living in a hotel. Especially if they all have different baby fathers. I think a lot of girls be failing to understand that having a kid is not going to keep a man. If that man already said he doesn't want that kid, he's going to leave. He's going to leave, bro. And don't get me wrong, there's some people that really do be playing the cards saying they're gonna, love you and this, that, third, and then when the baby come, they up and out. But majority of the times, the red flags be there. When you got that pregnancy test and you opened it up and you showed this man and you said, oh, babe, I'm pregnant, and he didn't hit you with that reaction, and he said, who baby is it? Or you need to find out because it's not mine. I'm not even trying to promote abortion, but it would have been singing with the angels. I would have named that baby Heaven. I would have told my friends to jump me so bad, just give me straight belly shots. Because there's no way I'm going to be sitting here struggling with a kid. And there's no way I'm going to bring a child into a home where the dad automatically did not want that child. Before that child was even born, he said no. But y'all be wanting to force kids on men so bad. I just hope y'all a little bit smarter, because 5 kids under the age of 5 is crazy. And no, nobody feels bad for you because you did it to yourself. You're fully capable of understanding what the hell you were doing when you spread your legs open. And this is why your GoFundMe is at 0.
If you don't have any money, if you are poor and you do not have the means or the resources to take care of another human being, why are you having children? Why? This is not about eugenics. It's not about none of that. This is about being financially responsible. If you don't have any money, why are you giving birth to children? Why? No, because I'm just trying to understand, what are you going to feed the child with? Vibes? And yeah, you can give your child all the love in the world, all the praise, all that. But if you don't have the resources, nor do you have the money to make sure your child lives and has a successful life, maybe you shouldn't be having children.
I remember this was a topic on Twitter a while ago, and a lot of people were upset by it and saying this is eugenics. People should still be able to have kids even if they're dirt poor. And no, they shouldn't, because children are not dolls. Children are not toys. You don't just get one just because you want one. If you don't have the means to take care of a child, why are you having kids? Literally, it's not even eugenics. It's just common sense. Being a parent comes with requirements, and one of those requirements is being financially stable. You don't have to be a millionaire, but you should have enough money to feed your child every single day and clothe them and not have them living a life of struggle. I don't think that's asking for a lot. And let's put the money aside real quick. I still feel like a lot of y'all should not be having kids because you are incompetent. A lot of y'all are emotionally inept. You can't even regulate your own emotion. You result to beating a child when they make mistakes, and you spiral over the smallest things, you don't have what it takes. You don't have the patience, the skill that it takes to be a parent. And a lot of y'all just are not self-aware of that. You think the only reason you need to have a child is simply because you want one. You're not willing to do anything else it takes to prepare you for that child, emotionally, financially, physically. You're not willing to do anything else. Having a child is inherently selfish. So I feel like being financially stable is the bare minimum thing that you can do to ensure that this child has a decent life. Why is this even controversial? And the last thing I want to mention is children who grew up in poverty will tell y'all that you should wait until you're financially stable to have kids. But y'all don't want to listen. You just want to have a little doll that you can play dress up with.
Yeah, listen, I'm sure we all know, kids can be expensive, And parenting is probably a hard thing. I wouldn't know, I don't have kids. But one thing I don't understand is why people out here having kids without money. It's idiotic. Now, hopefully I don't have no kids in like 3 months. I'm gonna have to delete this. But listen, if you don't have money, it should be illegal for you to have kids. Now, that might be a little bit crazy, but whatever. It would make this world a lot better.
Honestly, guys, some of our sisters and brothers need to stop having kids. Some of them should have never had kids. I'm here to vent because honestly, if you have no sense of motherhood, shipness, or you just don't even have time to take care of yourself as a human being, or you don't have an income, why are you having kids, Sana? Why are you having kids? Why are you bringing kids on this earth so that you can abandon them? Why would you do that? Because at the end of the day, now you have the kid, then you abandon the kid, and then me that does not have a child, that's your sister, nah, I have to chip in to raise that kid. My mother, that's a 59-year-old, that's done raising her kids. Like literally her last kid is doing her second year university, has to now start over and raise a little kid literally from grade 1. Do you know what I mean? With her pension money. Like, do you understand why the cycle of poverty will always be perpetuating? Honestly, some of us as black people need to, like, and I know a lot of people will be like, no, it was a mistake, we don't plan. Like, I watch teenage pregnancy now, and there's so many ways to prevent pregnancy. There's so many, like, you can even just stay away, just abstain, right? And these kids will continue to grow there. I mean, they'll even have second bonds. And then on top of that, you abandon the child, Sana. Honestly, make it make sense. And it be the people that don't care about their kids, that don't care about supporting their kids, that even have more. Do you know how hard it is to carry a burden that is not yours? It's better if you lay down, you made the baby, and then you're like, sister, you can't go out to the club, you can't go out to that restaurant because you got a kid. Now the one that I did not create, I did not birth, I have to now be changing my ways because I just don't have that heart to abandon a kid. Like even my mom at the age of 59, she has to start over and raise a kid because she cannot just abandon the kid. Do you know what I mean? Instead of us now to be investing, like doing other things because my mom is done raising her kids, she has to start over. Please abstain. There's a lot of contraceptives. You can't tell me the condom is so or what if you don't want that baby. Guys, if you can't afford the child, some people can afford the kids, but then mentally you're not ready. You can feel you're not ready. Like me personally, I'm not ready. And I'm making sure I don't have a kid right now because I can ready.
I will never understand in my 30 years of living how people can sit up here, have no money, be struggling on their own, just taking care of themselves and decide, you know what, I'm gonna have a baby. It don't make no sense.
I'm 25 years old and I'm always constantly getting asked, when are you having kids? Baby, kids? In this economy? Do you know how selfish it is to have children when you don't even have your life together? when you don't know if you'll be able to pay rent for next month, when you are not sure where your next meal is coming from, when you have to choose between the light bill or the water bill for the month. I'm currently working on myself and my financial security, so when the day comes that I do have children, they don't have to struggle. They don't have to go hungry. They don't have to live in a house where the lights are getting cut off. They don't have to go to bed cold. They can go to the best schools, wear the best clothes, eat the best meals, take the best vacations. I am not bringing children into this world to struggle. I will use any method of protection and birth control that is available to me because I am not financially ready to have a child yet. Yes, I am mentally ready to have a child. And yeah, of course, I want children. I'm 25, I'm almost 26. I am ready to have a kid. But let's be honest, I'm poor, and you cannot have a child being poor. I don't want to bring a child into this world and live in this neighborhood that I live in, where people rob and steal and shoot each other and kill each other. Say what you want, but my children will have a silver spoon. My children will have everything handed to them. My children will have access to anything they want. My children won't have to struggle. And if you know you're poor and you bring children into this world, you're selfish. There are condoms, there are pills, there are shots, there are all types of shit that you can do to prevent getting pregnant. And you still choose to get pregnant, you're selfish. I don't care.
Do not have kids until you make it. Do not have children until you are financially stable. Do not get nobody pregnant until you get your bag up. Real shit. I'm tired of you broke ass dudes having kids, bro. Real shit. Then you leaving a woman by herself to raise the kids. Stop doing that shit, bro. Get your bag up and then be responsible. Real shit. Why do I say this? I say this because once you have them kids, all your dreams is on pause. All your hoop dreams, football dreams, rapping dreams, whatever goals you have is on pause. Why? Because them kids need to be fed. No cap.
So I wish more people understood this before they made that commitment to have children. It takes more than just food, shelter, and water just to raise a kid. I had a pretty rough childhood. My mom started having babies at 16, and by the time she was 24, she had 4 kids. So we were poor. My mom didn't have a career, so my parents were stuck, working low income jobs. My older siblings, they had a different dad that basically abandoned them. He wouldn't pay child support, and he moved on and went and created babies with other women. So we had it very rough growing up. Like, I would even, tell my parents, I want to be in gymnastics and I want to do cheerleading and I want to be in band, but my parents would never put me in any type of extracurricular activities. Like, for example, I was in band and I had to sit there and watch everybody else in band class with their instruments, and I'm just sitting there without an instrument for 2 weeks. And, I eventually had to drop out because how am I going to learn music without an instrument? All of those experiences of not being able to do what my friends are doing and participating in the activities that they participated in, it really it messed with my self-esteem. And so being just poor like that, it really messes with you on the inside. So stop having kids that you cannot afford, because yeah, you can give them the bare minimum, but whenever they see, other kids their age doing things that they wish they could do, like going on vacations and participating in activities, it really hurts them to the core. But thankfully, I have a daughter, and I put her in gymnastics, and I put her in a private preschool. So I'm giving her the childhood that I wish I would have had. So stop having babies if you cannot afford them. And make sure that you do give your kid a very enriching life.
One thing that I always got flack for is that I never could understand how two people who are struggling financially think that having a kid is going to make their situation any fucking better. Now, growing up, I can't speak for everybody, but I felt like I was almost being pressured into thinking it was okay to have kids. I felt like I was almost being pressured into thinking I had no choice but to be married. You see what I'm saying? Especially at 31 now. Yeah, I'm fucking 18. I'm like, damn, is this marriage thing, do I really have to do this shit? And now that I have this insight of being, you know, my own individual, I sit and think like, no, I don't have to do any of that shit until I'm absolutely sure that that's something that I want to do. Me personally, I just think that getting married in this day and time is just one of the biggest mistakes a man can make. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to disagree with that. It is what it is. You have your opinion and I have mine. However, I will never waver off the fact that if you are not financially able to provide for yourself, why are you having kids? I will never move off that. It's like the cost of everything is going up, and you don't have to be rich, but you have to be at least somewhat well off. See, a lot of us grew up with our parents just skating by, our parents just having enough to make sure we don't go homeless and starve, our parents just doing what they can to make sure we survive. And, you know, we think that that's all that fucking goes into it. That's complete horseshit. And this is something I think about all the time. Like, I literally heard this lady in the store the other day talking about, oh yeah, I don't know how we're gonna pay the bills, and you know, we gotta feed the 3 kids and this, that, and the third, and you know, you working. I mean, she was talking loud as a bitch. And she was basically talking about how she doesn't know how she's gonna feed her kids, but she has 3 kids, and I'm fucking telling all this lady's business. She got 3 kids and a boyfriend or a husband, and they're both struggling. And I'm like, you had to have been struggling before you decided to have children. So why the fuck would you bring them into this equation and make the equation worse for all parties involved? I just don't get it. Feel how you feel, but me personally, I think you need to just be well off before you decide to do some shit like that, man. Like, I don't know. And people say, oh, you know, things happen. Stop fucking unprotected then. God damn.
If you having kids and you're financially struggling, I'm not saying congratulations, because what am I congratulating? You bringing the kid into a world just to have them living in poverty?
Like seriously? Like seriously? For real? Like, what's this? Some of these individuals went through this poverty experiences. They still haven't learned from it. And they're repeating history. No, I'm not saying you have to be a billionaire or whatever until you're able to have children. But there's a certain level of stability that one should have. You know, you can't be struggling to feed, to pay your rent, to do basic things of life. You're not comfortable with yourself. Your partner is not comfortable with himself or herself. And then you feel it is the right time to bring children just because you think they are cute. No. It's unfair. Let's say the truth. It is unfair. I know that society is pressures some to do it. They keep telling you, when are you having children? You've been married for a while. When are you having children? But nobody ever asks you, are you broke? Can I send you some money? Do you need some financial help? How can I help you financially? Nobody cares. And then when you go on to have the children, it is the same people that will come back and tell you when the child is looking malnourished or out of school, they will still be the one that will come back to tell you, when you knew you were not ready, why did you have them? Let's even put this clear. Once you start having children, your life changes. It is no longer about you. It is now us. It is now my child. It now becomes your child. What does your child want? If you used to be somebody who spends money on yourself, a selfish person who loves to spend money on him or herself, believe me, you no longer have whole access to your money. Remember that the child doesn't start with solid food. So you need to start incorporating bill for children food into your budget. Have you checked the cost of baby food lately? Like, the economy is hitting so hard, really hard. Rents are going up, gas is going up, electricity bills are going up. You're not stable mentally, you're not stable financially, you're not stable emotionally. The stress of work is hitting you hard. You're working so hard just to give yourself the basic life. And then adding another person makes it more draining on you. Guys, what happens to contraceptives? You should be able to take care of yourself. Don't, no, no, no. You shouldn't do that. We could go on and on and on, but please, don't hurt other people. That child did not come to this life to suffer. Some people are still dealing with trauma from their past because of the kind of childhood that they had. Until you are financially ready, do not indulge in it. Okay guys, so until my next video, keep making good choices.